Minneapolis. When Cornelia Smith thinks about what she's fighting for in this year's election, she thinks about the person she found overdosing outside her apartment one day last year after brunch. She remembers thinking of all the things that could go wrong if she called the police and administering Narcan herself instead. That, said Smith, who serves as the campaign manager for Yes for Minneapolis and is also a licensed practical nurse, is an example of a person who didn't need an armed police officer. Smith and a broad group of activists and groups make up the coalition working to convince the city's electorate that they should vote yes on the second city question on their ballot in Tuesday's election, which asks whether they want to replace the city's police department with a Department of Public Safety. If the ballot measure were to succeed, the department would be replaced with an expanded department that goes beyond traditional policing to pursue a more comprehensive approach to public safety, who would then all be under the oversight of the mayor and city council. The language would also get rid of a minimum funding requirement for police.
What's at stake when we have these races is changed, or maintaining the status quo. And I think people have already indicated what it is that they want, and they don't want to maintain the status quo, Smith, now a former Minneapolis resident, said in an interview Sunday. While this is hyper-local, it does have national implications in the sense that this is a bellwether race. Minneapolis was ground zero for the reignition of the racial justice movement in 2020 after George Floyd, a black resident, was murdered by former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who was convicted in April of murder and manslaughter. Floyd's death, captured on camera and watched around the world, placed the Democratic city squarely in the center of the ongoing debate around police accountability and racism. The calls for reform ranged from abolitionist to restructuring, but most activists shared the view that a higher priority should be placed on funding community resources that could prevent the need for policing in the first place. Now, with this amendment on the ballot 17 months after Floyd's death, Minneapolis will answer whether the push to reallocate police budgets has any political momentum. The brief amendment question has become a Rorschach test for Democrats and residents on what the path forward should look like.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe